All right, this is the Phantom, and we're here on the Convention Center floor at Bowl Expo 212 in Reno, Nevada. And as usual for the past 3 years, I've been here with my sidekick, Jim Dressel. I bring him along because he knows all the big words with more than one syllable, and I'm just an old late man. So, Jim, good to see you again, Pards.
Thanks a lot, Phantom.
That's it.
Okay. Cara, we know that, you've come a long way just to be on this show and for no other reason.
Absolutely, just to be on this show.
And therefore, I know you have a new role these days. Cara used to be, and probably still is, I haven't really, checked lately, but a top flight bowler, and I mean very top flight, winning a lot of titles in the United States years ago, and probably still capable of doing it now, but she's got another role with the Australian Sports Council. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of 10-Pin Bowling Australia, which is equivalent to the USBC in the United States. So I don't bowl anymore at all. Hung up the bowling shoes, but I must say after watching the ladies out there this week, it's given me a bit of an urge to get back into it. But I've really enjoyed my time transitioning from being a professional bowler to making a contribution to the sport from an administrative capacity.
Well, Jim mentioned that at one time you were a top female bowler, and there's no question about that. I saw her firsthand. There was a big tournament, ladies tournament down in Kegel several years ago, and I watched her. She never missed a pocket. Not only in one game, the whole block, the whole day, the whole tournament. She ran away and hid in the tournament, but as luck would have it, with the formats of nowadays, she lost on TV, which is unfortunate. But Cara, you were a wonderful bowler, and we're going to miss seeing you bowl.
Oh, thank you. It's been about 10 years really since I've been here, and I came back very briefly in 2006, I think it was, for the exhibition event, which was in Las Vegas, in the shopping mall, and that'd be the first time that I hadn't bowled even then for a couple of years. I sort of came out of retirement, I guess, to get myself ready for that. So it's been a wonderful week. It's been 10 years since I've seen a lot of people, and has really reminded me that how much the sport has given to me through the people that I've met, and it's just a wonderful sport. It really is a sport for a lifetime, and it's really nice to be back in the United States and catching up with people and learning a lot about where we're going as a sport going forward. So it's been great.
What are you working on these days? What are your main cards that you're playing as far as Australia is concerned?
Our main focus has been growing membership, which I guess when you're running a federation, it's all about how many members you have. So we had a lot of different organisations within the country selling membership, and I've spent a lot of time just building those relationships and getting everybody to work together again. A lot like what's happening here in the US with the industry and the USBC, working together. We've been doing the same thing in Australia, and we've had a 60% growth in our membership in the last 12 months, so that's been great. And the other reason that I'm here is to promote the Australian Masters Tournament, which is one of the World Bowling Tour events. That's the last one on the calendar for 2012.
Not to meet us?
Oh, and of course to meet you. That was my first.
Thank you.
Absolutely the first priority. But we had a number of the pros come out to that last year, and we're trying to get as many back to Australia. It created a lot of excitement and enthusiasm back home, so trying to get as many of the Americans to come and visit us again in October.
Well, I know they all love to go down there. It's a beautiful place, unbelievable place. In fact, I've got a couple of real good friends from there, but we'll talk about that later. Cara, did you have any kind of a formal education as far as college?
Yes.
And all that? I'd like to know what that is, because I can tell you're smart.
Well, yeah, I was, I guess I never thought that I'd ever end up bowling for a living, even though I did. So I always was very big on education. So I finished high school and I did a business degree. So my background is in accountancy. And even while I was bowling on tour, we had 4 months a year off. I still worked in the off season. I worked for for my state institute of sport in the sporting environment. I worked as an accountant for a number of years, so I've always kept up my business skills, because you just never know, what opportunities you're going to be presented with. And of course, the opportunity came along to take the CEO's position, of course, which requires business skills as well as a knowledge of 10-pin bowling. So the two have actually worked, quite well, and I'm really enjoying the opportunity of trying to strengthen the sport in my home country.
you're more in the PR area these days lately because you're talking to a lot of people about a lot of things you're involved in, and you want to get them involved as well. How are you finding that field? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying it. It's challenging at the moment. We're all going through. It's the same in the US. It's the same in Australia. I mean, all sports are struggling. People are very time poor these days, and certainly in Australia, the sports that have had the biggest growth are the ones where you can play the sport when it suits you. A lot of people, like gym memberships, for example, has been a strong growth area because people can do it when they want to do it. And one of the things that I think a lot about is what can bowling do to make league bowling more flexible? What can we do to make our sport more appealing to the general public who are time poor? So that's we need to understand. We need to work very close with the industry because obviously the stronger the industry is, the stronger we are as a membership, and we can go forward. So there's lots of things to think about, lots of improvements to make, but it's a very exciting time.
When I watched you bowl, wasn't really the man responsible for the lane conditions, but I was there at Kegel and I watched the whole tournament, and I watched you a lot, and you were a very heady bowler. You thought things out. You kept your emotions under control. And I want to say that you wore glasses.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you. You've had to go through some kind of a makeover. You were attractive then. You're beautiful right now.
Aren't you lovely?
I'm serious.
I'll pay you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, no, in fact, pretty much after I finished bowling, I got sick of the glasses, so I wear contact lenses now. Although I've just turned 40, and I'm starting to find now that my eyesight's going again, so I've got a feeling I might be back in glasses pretty soon wearing bifocals.
How much of a rooting interest do you have when you see somebody like Belmo come along? I mean, is Australia pretty much all agog over him? And I'm not sure what it was like when you were on top of that bowling world, but I'm sure there was a lot of rooting when you were on all those telecasts.
Yeah, look, Jason's been the best thing for Australian bowling for many reasons. He's a great player. He's very charismatic. He's a little bit different. He throws the ball two-handed, and he's a very marketable bowler, and he's a nice guy. And we're very proud of him. We're very proud of what he's achieving over here, and he's certainly flying the flag. For us, we've been fortunate that we've had Cara Honeychurch, who's of course is a Hall of Famer, who has been a wonderful ambassador for Australian bowling for many years. And of course, I was out for a couple of years and did a little bit for the sport, and now we've got Jason continuing on that legacy. So we're very proud of Jason and what he's doing over here, and not just for him being an Australian, but also for what he's doing to promote bowling as well, because he's that little bit different, and he's great.
Yeah, he really is, and you were too. And Cara Honeychurch, she was just a total character, and she could bowl with the men too. She could play the fourth arrow as good as a lot of men could.
She could. She's Carol's been a tremendous inspiration to a lot of us back in Australia. And Carol was the one that actually said to me, she said, "You need to get over here." She said, "You could," because I didn't actually really have, I was never a real goal of mine to necessarily be a professional bowler. I was more, wanting to make it on the international stage and win, bowling World Cups. And Carol was really the one that said to me, "Cara, you need to get over here." She said, you don't want to look back when you're 40, 50 years of age and wonder if you ever could have made it. And I owe a lot to Carol. She was always very encouraging to me, and I'm glad that I listened to her and took her advice, because the 3.5 years that I had on tour were some of the best 3.5 years of my life. I learnt a lot as a person. It was a wonderful life experience. And as I said earlier, I've met some wonderful friends, and the bowling people around the world are just delightful. And it's just, I've been so blessed to have such great opportunities in my life.
Well, if you don't have anything else, frankly, turn the floor over to Cara.
I could talk to her all night. Stop.
Well, I know, and I'm trying
Don't try to get me away.
I'm trying to stop you dead in your tracks.
I'm flirting and everything else, but no, I'm not flirting. I'm dead serious. But yeah, Cara Honeychurch, a name that's unbelievable in the annals of bowling. She's taken her talents to the other side, to the administrative side, and I'm sure bowling, not only in Australia, but everywhere, will benefit from that, because she's a very bright gal. So, Cara, we got about a minute to go. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing? The stage is yours.
The only other thing I guess I just wanted to mention is we're very proud of the fact that we're hosting the 2013 Asian Seniors Championships in Australia, in Sydney, in November of 2013. So, and we're really excited about the possibility that there might be a World Championship for seniors coming as well, because we're doing a lot for seniors bowling in Australia as well as disabilities. We've got some great programs rolling out to increase participation for people with a disability. So we're doing a few things that are a little bit out there and a little bit different from mainstream, and so we're really looking forward to that opportunity. So I just want to thank you very much for having me on the show. Great to catch up with both of you again.
Cool. I got one more question.
Sure.
We have a lot of listeners out there, internet people that are bowling nuts. How can they get a hold of you or your website, somewhere where they can follow what's going on down
Absolutely. That's a great question. Check us out at www.tenpin.org.au.
Is that TEN pin?
TENPIN.org.au.
I never remember that question. Lenny, the Phantom always remembers it for some reason, but I can't even remember our own website. So you got a nice plug in there.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Thank you, Cara.